it the shoes? Is it the shoes?
Deb, we're in the middle of a recording session, so every fucking thing you say is going down on tape.
Oh, right, like you guys ever care about that crap?
Okay, stop recording.
Is it the shoes? Is it the shoes? Is it the shoes?
Hey, alright, we did it. We made it back. My name is Patrick Michael, and this is the show. This is what we're doing, guys. We're here. Are you glad we're here? Am I glad I'm here? Of course. We get to celebrate another day. And we get to celebrate the fact that we made it through another holiday. Or a so-called holiday. Some of us say it's a holiday. Some of us don't think that it's even a thing at all, ever. And you know I'm talking about Valentine's Day. V-Day. The day where dreams come true. Hallmark holiday, as some have called it. And you know what? Let's be honest. This is a holiday for women. We know that. It's a holiday for women. It was created for women specifically, and we have to accept that. But in accepting that, isn't it only right that there should be a man's version of Valentine's Day? Like a day where we get steaks and rare cheeses and couch blowjob. These are the things that we should be having on Man's Day, whatever that may be called. But in thinking about this as well, thinking about Valentine's Day in itself, it definitely seemed more like a proper holiday when we were in school. And by that I mean, when we were in school and we were starting to get into the opposite sex, or whatever it may be, you get cards. There was always some weird thing that was going on in the school to basically make the kids who weren't in a relationship or valuable, I guess you'll say, it made them feel even less valuable because they were secret things. Now, in my school district specifically, what we would do is you would have this thing where you could go and spend like $3. You spend $3 and your crush or whatever, your secret admirer, whatever it may be, they get sent a rose in the middle of class. Oh yeah. Not during lunch, not during passing periods, but right in the middle of U.S. history. Right in the middle of AP English. Just sitting there trying to read some Geoffrey Chaucer, and here comes just an office person who obviously is a student, and they're handing out flowers to a bunch of people in the class. They come in with a lot of roses. Some people get multiple roses in a day. Some teachers get roses. Now, imagine how you'd feel if you went all day without a rose. Oh, the shame? You would feel so crazy. Like, oh, okay, so nobody in this fucking school has a crush on me. Well, that's great, because I sent out 27 flowers. And none of them have my name on it. So, another school dance I'll be going to alone. But in all seriousness, it was a very weird thing. It's almost manipulative when you think about it. It's like we're going to give these flowers to the kids that other kids have crushes on. So that way we can most certainly identify the kids that don't have friends or love interests, if you will. It's weird. It's weird. And it's selfish and unfair to the other students. Like, hey, it's Valentine's Day. Everybody gets something. Now, when I was in elementary, what you would do is you would make some sort of an envelope, very themed towards Valentine's Day, and everybody would bring in Valentine's Day cards for everybody in the class. Because they would like tape all of the envelopes to a wall or something like this, a shelf, and you would just come in and you would drop in the cards. Drop it in, there's 15 kids, you drop one in each. 15 cards, easy peasy. And guess what? Everybody's involved. I mean, think of the scene from the Billy Madison movie when it's Valentine's Day in the classroom. And he's got like 7 different cards. Because not everybody gets a card. Some people would get more than others. That's exactly how it worked with the rose situation. And then there was always those kids, such as myself even, that would be like, no, I don't even give a shit. That's corny as fuck. It's so corny to be like, yeah, a flower. Like, what am I going to do with a flower? I'm a little pissed that that's even a thing. That's a thing. Not the fact that people get flowers for other people. That's fine. I get it. But they've clearly blown a florist's job to another realm. Like, now we're all supposed to be... They're cutting plants up, okay? That's what we know. But they're all... And I guess... Okay, look. That's one gift that you can give somebody that means a lot, but it also dies. It disappears. The flower is no more. Even if you put them in water. Isn't that the most fucking ridiculous thing? It's like, oh, just bring them home, put them in water, and you got some flowers for a few days. They're not going to last. They never last. That's not a thing. But yeah, you can move a small tree into your house and flower it every day, or a small plant. Bring it in, water it every day, and it'll live for years sometimes. Okay, look, I'm not a scientist. We know that. But what I can honestly say is that doesn't make any sense. How's that make sense? Because anytime I've ever heard somebody ask me to get them flowers, or why didn't I get them flowers, all I can think is, why the fuck would I? Out of all the things you could have, you want something that's gonna die soon. I might as well give you the flower dead already, so that way your expectations are much lower next time. Why do you think so many films where somebody has to give somebody flowers quickly, they just pick them out of the yard? Because that is as important as a flower can be, as relevant as a flower will ever be. It's simply garbage. That takes up space, so you don't need flowers. Here's what I'll do. I'll fill your belly with some food, because at least you're getting some sustenance. You're going to live another day because you're full. I don't know if that's science either. I'm just saying, at least by giving you food, it does disappear, but it goes inside of you. The flower doesn't do nothing. That's why it's so... when I was a kid, people would be like, oh, smell this flower. No! The flower doesn't smell like anything. I mean, sure, if it's a real fancy rose bush, there's some smell. A little bit. But when I think about the smell of flowers, I don't think of an actual flower. I think of old women. Because old women smell like what flowers are allegedly flowers smell like, right? And it also smells a bit like death. Because there's never young women that smell the way that old women smell. And vice versa. Same thing with men. Old men do not smell like young men. It's a specific smell. Why do you think people say, oh, the new baby smell? Because the smell's different. No one's ever like, ooh, I love the old woman smell. Do ya? Because you sound like a liar. You're a liar or a fucking crazy person. I mean, all of us know right now that our grandma, our aunts, they have a smell. A smell that lingers, in fact. It sticks around like their ghost. They could have walked away from you without even having a conversation with you 10 minutes before, and you're still smelling their perfume. Because even the way that they apply perfume is a horrendous technique. It's not the way that we do it. It's almost like they're dipped in it. They want to make sure that you smell them before they get there and after they leave. Because when they're talking to you face to face, it's almost not there because it's surrounding you. So that way when they leave, leave the planet even, when they die, every time you smell that smell, you're going to be like, oh, grandma's here. But when you think about it, all old women smell like that. It could be anybody's grandma. So really, the issue is you have a ghost. You have a ghost in your house, sir. That's not grandma. That's Edna from 2 blocks over. And she had a whole house full of cats and died, and they didn't find her body for 6 weeks. And when they did finally get inside, the cats had devoured her because gross. I wanted to make it as gross as I could before we got out of that bit. But yeah, I mean, fucking Valentine's Day, you guys, it's a crazy thing. It's a very, very weird, very strange holiday. It's one of those holidays where you're like, I don't know who or what it's really for, or why it is even here, and why people are so like, Valentine's Day is tomorrow. Oh, well, what happens then? What happens then? Are the stars brighter? Am I gonna feel taller? What's going on? Do the wizards come out? Tell me. Because for somebody like myself that did a lot of research on the mafia and mobsters as a kid, all I think about for Valentine's Day is Al Capone. I think about the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. And yeah, very dark. On a holiday based in love, I'm thinking about murder. Was it done on was the Valentine's Day Massacre done on Valentine's Day? Is that why? Or was there a guy named Valentine? I feel like it was close to Valentine's Day. But it doesn't matter. Let's continue on because I want to talk about a lot of stuff, guys. I've seen a lot of weird shit over the past few days. And one of the things that was trending on Twitter, and you gotta love Twitter. It's always accurate. It's always perfectly well done. Everybody's got great opinions and thoughts and smiles. Everybody's got a great smile. And you know what? You guys all smell very good. Not like flowers. Not like a ghost or dead ghost. I don't know. A ghost is already dead, so a dead ghost is like somebody killed the ghost. It died twice. Weird stuff happens on Twitter. That's what we're getting at. And apparently some lady, I don't know who it is, could be nobody, but they definitely posted a video of themselves relaxing, and we all like a spa day. We like a relaxed day. And for each of us, a spa day is a little different. For instance, you might go to an actual place that has spa in the name. And it's a separate location from your house. It's another building. There's other faces there you've never seen before. And there's more than one person having the spa. Enjoying a spa. But some of us, like myself, we like to have a spa day alone. Now, a spa day could simply be a nice relaxing bath and a glass of wine. Sure. But when you go to a spa, you can get a massage, a steam. You get to wear robes similar to that of a cult, and some really cheap slippers, whatever it may be. There's more to it. But when you have a spa day alone, you can implement things that you enjoy. For instance, bring a tablet so you can play games, so you could watch movies, whatever. or a snack. Bring an entire turkey, a Thanksgiving dinner, to the tub. You're alone. Who gives a shit? But then you have people like this lady who says, you know what? I need a spa day. I need to relax. Today has been rough. Been a long day. But I'm going to relax with my phone, a glass of wine, and a nice bath. But also, I'm going to bring a snack. Now, my snack is unorthodox. I'm not saying it's a snack nobody eats. People love this fucking snack. But what I'm going to do with it is I'm going to make some sort of like a human cereal with my snack. I'm going to fill up a bathtub with my snack, and I'm going to get in it. I'm going to be one with the snack, okay? Me and the snack are the cereal. I'm the spoon in the cereal bowl of Flamin' Hot Cheetos. What? What? Did you say? What'd he say? Yeah, a lady took a bath in Flamin' Hot Cheetos, you guys. Now, there's a lot of questions. The level of preparation, first of all. That, I mean, to get that amount of Cheetos, I mean, how? And then to think, not only am I going to get all of these Cheetos, I'm going to get enough to fill a bathtub. They're all going down in one shot. Because no one's eating soggy Flamin' Hot Cheetos. That doesn't make sense. You don't do that. No one does that, okay? So the ladies, and not only did she take her phone, the wine, the Flamin' Hot bath, but she said, you know what? My spa day is so unique to me, there's probably nobody out there in the world that's doing the same shit. Because also, how do you get that many Cheetos? So she decides, hey, I'm going to go to the number one place where it's nothing but positive support and prosperous reaffirmation. I feel like I just wanted to say some big words there, and I failed horribly, and now my face hurts from falling so hard. Truth be told, lots of Flamin' Hots, lots of preparation, many questions. Putting it out on Twitter was the worst idea. Now, had she been doing this, had she done this many a times before, fine. That's your thing. That's your thing. Go for it. But you wanted to put it online. You wanted to show the world, hey, Mom, look at me. Hey, Cheetos, need a new sponsor? I need a new campaign. Here you go. Not only can you eat the Flamin' Hots and enjoy them that way, you can bathe in them. Why? 'Cause you can. That's why. No other reason. Because honestly, we're not saying you should. Because what the fuck is a Cheeto anyways? It's not like a bread. The name doesn't even tell you what could possibly be in it. The shape of it. What are you? What are you? So not only is she bathing in this thing, she's hanging out in this fucking her Cheeto spa day. She's probably asshole naked in the tub as a normal person would be if it was a regular tub. So assuming that she is naked in this tub with these Flamin' Hot Cheetos, oh, she ain't going to work tomorrow. She gonna have to call off. 'Cause her vagina gonna be on fire. Now look, any of us that have ever had Flamin' Hot Cheetos know exactly what it's like. When one of those little hot boys hit the back of your throat after you've ate half the bag, it'll get stuck there. And what happens? Your eyes immediately water, your tongue goes dry. It's a bad situation. You're coughing, and nothing helps for a while. But as human as we are, we do go back and immediately finish the rest of the bag. Because you know what? We are man. But if that's the case, when you're ingesting them properly, I can't imagine what it's like when your vagina's in flaming hot water. When you're basting in a flaming hot stew. Now also, look at your fingers after you eat a bag of Flamin' Hots. Wait. I know you're saying, I clean my fingers off. I lick my fingers off like an animal. That's fine. Sure. But continue to look at your fingers after. They're still red. Still very, very red. It's like a third grader's Kool-Aid mustache from bad parenting. It's still there. That's a memory. That's stuck on you for a while. Now, imagine you decide to stick your whole body in a wet bag of Flamin' Hot Cheetos. What's gonna happen? She might as well dunk her fucking head. Just so that way she has a consistent sheen of Flamin' Hot dust. Rather than, why is your head not the same color as your arms or legs, lady? What you doing? I mean, there's so many things that run through your mind. It's like, this person's fucking dumb. I mean, if she's ran this through, this whole thing, more than once, and she just now decided to put the video up, fine. But my guess, this is her first go at the Flamin' Hots. Because she was trying to, I don't know, make a statement, prove that she's cool. I don't fucking know. What does that do for you? All I can think of is the bad. Even if the tub didn't have water in it, those fucking Flamin' Hot Cheetos are still gonna fuck with your skin. Like, what an idiot. What a dumb idiot. Like, it's so stupid. But this is where we are, you guys. We're at this specific position to say, hey, we should do whatever it takes to be acknowledged on social media. We should. And if that means filming yourself right before you fall off the side of a mountain and dying, go for it. Or if that means diving headfirst into a flaming hot soup, go for it. But that's not the way it should be. And here's the other thing. I'm sure she got a bunch of slack for the fact that she did this because it's dumb. But the fact that she was a beautiful woman, she's a pretty woman, an attractive woman, there's probably some fucking weirdos out there that are like, yeah, I'd get in. I'd be right in there with you, sweetheart. And also the fact that she was a beautiful woman, she had enough courage and self-esteem to say, I'm fine with putting this out there because I don't care what people have to say about me. It's fine. But if it was a fat lady or a fat guy, anybody fat, and they took a bath drinking a glass of wine in flaming hot Cheetos or any food for that matter, guess what? You're not going to even be fucking noticed. You're not going to be acknowledged at all. You're going to die in that bathtub before anybody gives a shit. And that's the fucking hard truth about it. If this woman wasn't pretty, nobody would have gave a fuck. They would have maybe been like, you're gross, goodbye. But because she's an attractive lady, there's enough push behind this from the people that are weird enough to be like, that's fucking sexy. Check out how badass this girl is. Dude, I love Flamin' Hot Cheetos. And if I could think of like a dream where like Flamin' Hot Cheetos were involved, that have, of course, a sexy lady in a bathtub full of Flamin' Hot Cheetos. And I'd walk into the bathroom like, oh my God, I didn't even know you were here. Oh boy, may I bathe with you. Like that creepiness, that weirdness is certainly out there and certainly help make this a thing. Help people like me see this. Because this seems like a level of strange that belongs in a specific category online. Not in your Twitter feed. But here I am talking about it. But like I said, if it was a person of larger size, they would have never been noticed. And there most certainly wouldn't have been anybody like, fuck yeah, get some more Cheetos in there. You know what? Where's the hot sauce? We're gonna really fucking spice this up. Somebody run to Taco Bell and get a flaming taco. We're gonna crush that up, put it in here as well. Like there's nobody that's gonna push it. I mean, there probably is, but like I said, they're on the darker parts of the internet. They're not on Twitter saying, "Whoa, sweetheart, that looks delicious." And I'm not just talking about the Cheetos, the soggy Cheetos and water. And then also, what the fuck did her tub look like afterwards? And also, was she so privileged to go through and do this where she could buy that many Cheetos to fill the tub, number one, and number two, have the gumption to do it and then probably leave a fucking mess for somebody else to clean up? That's the way I'm thinking. This wasn't your average Joe by any means. This was not only a person that could afford a nice tub in a nice house with probably delicious, fuck it, some really good tasting, some well tasting, some fine wine, and enough Cheetos to fill a tub. That's a privileged person. That's somebody who thinks, I can do this and get away with it. I can do this and not care because I don't have to worry about cleaning up the mess. It's like being a chef on a cooking show. Like, of course I'm going to make a fucking mess. You know why? Because it's not my mess, ultimately. Someone else has got to fucking deal with it. Not this guy. I get to go home, or I get to go to my trailer, whatever. That's your problem now, Steven. That's your problem now, Steven. Handle it, okay? I will be somewhere else. And you're lucky I know your first name. And then he walks away, and Steven's like, well, my name's Derek, but okay. Speaking of larger people, I went out to dinner for Valentine's Day, as you do. I didn't have a bathtub full of Cheetos. I had some Mexican food, which was delicious. I can't even think of what it's called. A Durango chicken thing? Sure. But while I was there, I saw a larger man, as you do when you go to restaurants, and I have no problem with them. But it made me think about sweatpants. Because when sweatpants first came out, when they first were advertised on television, in commercials, there's a good chance most people wearing sweatpants were doing what? Exercising. Why? They're called sweatpants. I don't think the person that created sweatpants had anything in their mind to say, I want you to sweat in these pants when you're just sitting down. These pants are made to absorb sweat. So you would think, yeah, obviously athletic wear. But we all know better than that today. Because most of the sweat going into sweatpants today is not because of exercise. That's just a fat body. That's a fat, leaky body seeping, moistening these sweatpants, and you got to deal with it. You got to see it. You got to smell it. You got to crush it. Because once they're so sweaty, they're stiff. It's a crunch situation at the washer that day. I don't even know what I'm getting on, guys. It's just a bit that I came up with because I was thinking about the fact that's a fact. People that are wearing sweatpants today are not athletically fit people at all. Unless they're inside preparing to go to sleep. Because there's actual athletic wear. But we still call sweatpants, sweatpants. And that's weird. It should just be called soft pants. Here, I am putting on my soft pants, dear. It's dinner time. Like, that's what it should be. Because that's exactly what they're used for. It's like, hey guys, I'm going to a buffet. I need pants that don't have a size limit. I need pants that can grow when I grow. Size? What do you mean size? They must expand. They must. But it is really gross. And sweatpants themselves are pretty gross. Especially, I mean, think about anybody that wears sweatpants in a public. The only time it ever looks relatively attractive or decent is when it's a fit person. because you think, well, they probably never sweat in those pants ever. Those are probably some of the cleanest pants they have, because they don't ever come outside. And they most certainly aren't running in them. But it's a little like, I don't know, if I would see it as, if sweatpants could talk, they'd let's put it this way. If a fat person could say this, they probably would. The fact that I wear sweatpants, obviously it's for comfort, other things don't fit. But the fact that you guys call them sweatpants makes me feel like shit. Because I am probably sweating in these pants like a lot. But you don't have to call them that. Just let me be. Just call them, these are my soft pants. I don't know. I'm just getting on some shit, guys. But I do want to get a little bit away from the comical portion, I guess you'd say, of this show, this episode. And we're going to dive into a little bit of true crime. Right after this quick break. Enjoy the music. Alright, and we're back. Thank you again for sticking around. If you have stuck around this far, you're a hero. Because I truly don't even remember what I was talking about in the first half of this episode. Of course, that's not true. I am a professional. I don't know, maybe just a professor. One of the P words that has pro in it. Anyways, what are we saying? True crime. So I watch all the docuseries on Netflix about true crimes. Basically, it doesn't matter what it's about. If it's true crime, I'm in. It doesn't matter who it's about, what it's about, if I've heard it before, if it's somebody that's pretty prolific that we've all heard about, I'm checking it out. Because what I've realized is most documentaries are all about perspective, and everybody has a different perspective. So you can go watch the amazing Jonathan documentary by Steve Byrne, who's a comedian, or go watch the untitled Amazing Jonathan documentary on Hulu by some guy I've never heard of before ever. My whole point is there's a reason for checking out both of them because of the perspective, as we've said. But yeah, I started watching this docuseries, another docuseries that came out a while back. The first season was out, and it's called I Am a Killer. And very creepy. And I feel like the first season was much different than the second season. I feel more like the people in the first season were more villainous. They were more evil. And the second season comes around, and it basically seems like most of the cases are from people that killed people on accident or to save themselves. Now, that's not every case. Of course, there's several that are like, holy shit, this guy's fucked up. Or this lady's fucked up. Whatever it may be. But what I will say, and I have to say this, they all seem very articulate. And that's really weird from criminals. And I'm sure most people that watch the documentaries will think, well, they're being coached. They're being led into this, plus the editing, whatever. And sure, that may be the case. But let's also remember this. When they talk about their last day, basically when they talk about their crime. When they talk about their crime, the reason that they remember it so well is because that's the last time, virtually the last time that they were free. So all they've been doing for the entire time that they've been locked up is thinking about that day that they did the crime that got them where they are now. Usually, if you're a normal person, yeah, you think about it all the time. So when you hear these criminals be able to talk about their crimes so vividly and so detailed is because, and they sound smart, they sound articulate, and that's because all they've been doing is thinking about this case, this situation, what brought them there, how they could have avoided it, what they should have done differently. And then also there's the people that are just fabricating a bunch of shit. So that way whenever anybody goes and asks them about the story, about why they're there, they have all the details needed to make them seem like the victim. Or, you get what I'm saying. Not every case is the same, of course. So not only have they been thinking about the case the entire time, but they've also been able to fabricate to specific details lies that will ultimately create the perfect story for the person listening, whether that be a judge or a fellow inmate. So that's where I found myself watching this series, this second season specifically, is I'm sitting there thinking like, damn, these fuckers in this season are super smart. They're intelligent. They seem like genuinely nice people, like they could get along in the real world. And then it kind of came to me, this whole thing where it's like, oh, of course, they seem like they get it. They seem like they're remorseful, or they could be productive in society today. They seem that way because all they've been doing is figuring out how to create that person that they think you want to see. The story, to also create the story that they think that you want to hear. That's going to most benefit them and make them seem like they didn't do anything bad, or it wasn't that bad. That's why you find a lot of inmates turning to religion. Because when it comes to being in front of the people that can ultimately decide whether or not you're free, saying that you're a minister or you're doing Bible studies or whatever, most certainly just looks better. It just looks better. Now, can we guarantee that every single person that does that does it for that reason? Just to benefit them? No. Some people are fully into it. Some people dedicate themselves all the way. But I can tell you this, the numbers are certainly skewed more towards people faking it to benefit them. So, like I said, not only having the time to rehearse the way that they're going to tell their stories, I'm sitting here wondering, like, how true is this? And that's the problem with most people. I would imagine a judge specifically to sit there and be like, oh, this guy in comparison to that girl seems more likely to be able to change, to be better, to better himself from what he did to get him there because of his demeanor. Now, is that why they're called a judge? I don't know. But I would think you'd have to have really good perception in that sense. Like, oh, I can tell by the way this person is standing that they are remorseful, that they do feel bad, or they aren't a criminal, whatever the case may be. It's just very weird. And I want to reiterate about the last day out. You can't, unless you're on drugs or super drunk or something like this, or you hit your head, you remember almost everything that has to do with why you're there. Like you remember the day you were arrested, the day of the crime, how the crime happened. All of this stuff is remembered because when you're in the facility, all you're thinking is, well, I miss grass and birds and trees and fresh air. And as you remember that, you start to think about your days being free. It's not good to constantly ponder that, of course, but you do think about it, and in most cases, you're thinking about the day you were free, that you did the thing that you did to bring you there. That's why these convicts and these lifers all seem to have just this great ability to tell a story. Because what I was seeing is I was like, damn, they really knew how to pick out the cases. They really knew how to pick out these people who could perform in this documentary and make it interesting, be able to tell their story properly. And then I realized, oh, that's because they've been acting the whole time, well before the cameras ever came, well before anybody was going to put them on television. They knew what they needed to say, how to say it, and they've just been repeating it, critiquing it, making it better, so that way if an opportunity like this comes, oh, guess what? I got this in the bag. I memorized my whole set. We're ready to go. What do I need? 40 minutes? I got 2.5 days. I can explain this thing from front to back, exactly how I perceived it. But will you believe me? Will you trust the things I'm saying? Because also, I am in here. I have been arrested. So many other people said, oh, you did it. But a lot of the cases are real crazy. Like I said, that's the whole point. I mean, you're not going to be interested otherwise. But, I mean, the case of the kid who was burned by his dad and abused by his dad, and then the brother semi-confirming the stories happening to another brother, that's fucking crazy. Like 8 kids living in a shack. Just, you almost don't believe that people in the United States especially live like that. In the middle of basically nowhere in a shack, living off of peanuts. Because there is no job. And then you got to think about Los Angeles, California in itself, all the homeless people that are there. I mean, that situation can't be much better when you're staying in a tent. Sure, it's 75 and crisp, but you still live in a tent. You're still frowned upon. I've been homeless before, but in being homeless, I was working. Still had a job, just couldn't afford rent. Now, is that the same case for people in California? Are they working and just choosing to live in the streets because it's cheaper? Maybe some cases. Maybe some. But not all of them. So when I was thinking about that, I don't even know, I think his name was Joseph or something, I don't know. He just, when he was talking about how he's in prison, and he seemed like he was fine. Like he came to terms with it. He was okay with being in prison, being a prisoner. It brought structure to his life. And that's the kind of thing you see, and you're like, okay, I get it. I get it to some degree. Because some people just need that. Put it this way. Most of us, if not all of us, would be in great shape if we had somebody telling us to work out every day, taking us through the steps. Much like when we were in junior high and high school, and we used to have to run in gym class. You used to have to play sports in gym class. You were required to do that for the grade. But since people are not required to do those things, everybody runs amok. People are doing weird shit. And that's where you get documentaries like I Am a Killer, or any documentaries based on crimes. Because every day, people are doing weird shit. Look at the Cheeto lady. She could be a serial killer and we wouldn't know for another 6 years. Even though that's a clear sign, she's up to no good. I guess what I'm saying is just, you can't trust them, but you also can't not trust them. Because the hopes for most people, and the way we look at it, when it comes to being locked up, being put in a cell, being jailed, being housed somewhere because you committed a crime, the hope is people are going in there and either not being able to come out at all ever just because they are that bad of a person, or people are pushed to rehabilitate, to be better when they come home. Because let's not forget, a lot of criminals and a lot of crimes are committed by people that are of the very bottom, the people that have nothing. Those people are the ones committing crimes, and then they're put into a system that doesn't help you get better. And then they go back to the streets, and eventually they find out, oh, well, now I'm a felon, I can't get a real job. All I have is more crime to survive. And then once again, they're arrested again, and the cycle continues until they aren't allowed to come back out anymore. Or they do change their ways, because that is possible. They change their ways and finally fucking snap into it. They become free. And because of their record, they still can't do anything for themselves. It's a flawed system. It's a system that's almost meant for you to fail, for you to reoffend, for you to come back. Because they don't do anything to help you get better. Like I said, the hope is the people that get, 10 years, 15 years, what time where they can come home. You hope that while they're in there, something's happening to fix them, to make them understand and regret and have remorse for all the things that they have done that put them there, to come to terms with it, to accept it, to move on, to grow. You hope that's happening. But I'll tell you, it's not. And I don't even have to be the one to tell you. Look at the statistics. Look anywhere. And it's 100% gonna tell you, oh yeah, they reoffend. That's it. That's it. It's a constant cycle. And that's the one thing I feel that could fix it, is forced initiative. You have to make them want to do it. Hey man, you don't get to sleep 9 hours out of the day. You have to be up as soon as the doors roll to go to school, to learn a trade. But instead they're like, oh, do whatever the fuck you want. Become a better criminal. I feel like we all know this. This isn't news. This is me expressing it. But I will say, the documentary, very entertaining. The docuseries, I should say. It's entertaining, but you also, I don't know, I feel like it's kind of a corruption of your mind. They're trying to, taking somebody's life, it's a lot. It's a lot, and it's hard to accept that they should be allowed back on the streets, that they should be able to walk free again. It's hard to accept that. But sometimes it's so convincing. Like, oh, I mean, you seem to be doing really well. All you can do is hope, because there's no guarantee. It's a trial and error situation. You got to just start letting it happen. Does he seem like he's rehabilitated? Okay, let him out. Then pay attention. Because you know he's a criminal. Pay attention to him. Watch him. But you don't have to arrest him for every little thing. You don't have to arrest him because he jaywalked. Because now he's on parole. He reoffends and he gets all that time back. Once again, the cycle continues. All right, guys. Well, you know, we made it here. We got this amount of time in. As you can see, I did not have my co-host today, and it's fine, because you know what happens when the co-host isn't around? He's out there gathering information. He's gonna have something for us when he comes back. And I'll tell you, the main reason that we didn't have an episode this week with Andrew, well, at least not yet this week. We probably should by Friday. But nonetheless, the reason that we haven't had him is more or less on my end. And I still felt the need to give you guys an episode, specifically because I'm not going to I hate that I have all this equipment that I love. I just like looking at it. I hate having it and not using it. And I collect all this information. I collect topics and things I want to talk about for my shows. And I'm always listening or watching other podcasts throughout the week. And it takes up so much time where I'm invested in watching another podcast instead of making my own. And that's not why Andrew's not on this episode. It was just a busy week, family things, and you just find yourself, hey man, no big deal. I'm still going to give him an episode because I can find that time, but our schedules will conflict and not make us be able to work together. But I can drop an hour and give you guys something to get us till Friday. This is a little bit late. I did promise. I promised Mondays and Fridays you guys would get episodes, and I'm doing everything I can to hold up my end. So if you like the show, don't forget, subscribe, tell a friend, and be sure to follow us on social media. We are on Instagram and Twitter. It's the Shoes with a Z. I put the links to those things in the episode description. Click it, join us, follow us. I waste a lot of stand-up material on Twitter, and I'm mad at myself because of it. But I feel like, hey man, the fans will get it. They'll understand. They won't steal it. That, or it's just not good material. Hard to say. Anyways, this is a fun show. I love doing this. I'm having a blast doing it. Hope you guys enjoy it. Don't forget, we have a YouTube channel as well. We do videos every time it's Andrew and myself. I do try to post some of the audio versions on YouTube as well. But either way, don't forget Over the Nest as well. One Flew Over the Nest. That is our true crime podcast. It is me and Andrew as well talking true crime. So if you like what we do here and you want to hear us talk about true crimes, get over there. Get us on two different perspectives. And stay out of the Cheeto water, okay? You definitely don't want those spices in your vajayjay. Can't feel, or your pee hole, really. Anybody's urethra should stay flaming hot Cheeto flavor free. Should be flavorless. All right. I miss anything? Bye. Joe Rogan, there's one thing that you got to know about me. I smoke rocks. Okay, so let's just do it let's just act right now.
This might surprise you, Joe Rogan, but this is not the first time I've tasted penis.
There you go. Okay, so save them, use both of them, and I'm gonna just do the intro and action. And we're live. Andrew, how's it going, buddy?
Something you don't know about me, Patrick.
Dude, you cut out right there. It cut you out. Just re-say the line.
Out my fucking video
Something might surprise you.
My back?
Yeah, go ahead. Just do your part.
What?
Just say the.
Something you don't know about me, Patrick. I smoke rocks. Patrick.
Say the.
Patrick.
Say it with the.
Brother's name, though. That's a good one. Like,
I hate it. Something that might surprise you about me. I smoke rocks.
this might surprise you, Patrick. This is not the first time that I've tasted penis.
I like it.